It's another beautiful evening. Thank you so much for I know people were waiting already. I'm so sorry coming a bit late. Good evening and happy Sunday. Thank you, Abigail, for joining us. Thank you, Foma, for joining us. Miracle, thank you for being on the call. Today we'll talk about the expandable self. As a leader, thank you, everyone. Yeah, so the expandable self. Somebody has gone into the YouTube and asked a question because I've said that our root should be in infinity, where we don't look at the limitations. We look at how boundless we are and endless and how large we are. And it's quite difficult in leadership where people don't conform to standard, people don't conform to the agreed pathways, even the values. But because we're doing a different model of leadership where leadership starts from us. And funny enough, I'll say that, how do you lead yourself into betterment? How do you, Mr. Rath, thank you for joining us again this evening. Thank you. So if you're leading yourself into betterment, so the question will be, let's assume that you have had a concept, like I have a concept I'm working on. I'm changing my whole blueprint and my landscape where I talk less, where my words are meaningful and my work are very satisfying, and I do not speak language that does not conform to my originality. Now it's taking me a whole 30 days, 40 days, 60 days to be able to redesign my internal landscape so that it can help me deal with the external issues, because you understand that your landscape within will affect your external landscape. So if it's going to take me 30 days to redesign my internal concept, now we expect our followers immediately to adjust to new policies, new programs, and we want them to integrate immediately, and we get frustrated. So the lady has said that she has a younger colleague who she's always greeting, and this lady never responds to her, never one day greeted her or initiate a conversation unless she initiate those conversations. And I said, we say that leading people is difficult. I asked her a question. So you are part of the people, meaning that you are also difficult to lead. And I'm also very difficult to lead because I'm learning what I call the upgraded value system. I've internalized the 8 value structures that I have always operated. Majority of you know about it: goodness, kindness, respect, hard work, order, patience, love, and keeping your word. But I'm upgrading it right away and into another 8 sectors, because you cannot lead the same way, the same value system. You need to upgrade it. So I've upgraded it. They talk about betterment. It means that I can't live anywhere without making that place better. You can't assign me with a task on the same level and I won't leave it at the same level. I need to improve it. If you give me your car, the worst I can do is to leave you with a thank you note, or wash the car, or make sure that I put a note or something. That's betterment. I'm also working on where I have a balanced mind. I was at the airport to see that people were very frustrated about a certain decision. They've lost their ground. They're no longer themselves because external triggers have caused them to depart from who they originally were. They were happy, but now they're unhappy. But you see, what balance that is that you're not losing yourself because you need to seek understanding why things are happening. So you adopt a neutral mind, and that neutrality gives you that you're non-judgmental. So what happens that you have what they call radical acceptance. Radical acceptance is because there are cause and effect. There must be a reason. So that's adopting a balanced mind. The next one is contentment, which I have learned from my mom. I mean, my mom is about 87 now. So I bought plenty wrappers to give to her. And she just collected one. I say, hey, this is all for you. She said, at my age, what am I doing? I'm contented. I mean, I've watched my mom live in contentment. But it never makes sense. But I tell you something, I was at the airport, contented with where I was. A particular gentleman walked in to me, and I knew he was a governor of his state. And yeah, I was contented. We shook hands. He asked for my card. I went back to him and I said, Can I do a favor to you? Please, can you give me your account number? Let me honor you. And when he was arguing, I said, I know that 90% of the people want to ask for favor from you, but really, I won't ask for any favor. I'm going to do a favor. Incidentally, we agreed. He eventually agreed and sent me his account number. Of course, I collected his phone number. He sent me a WhatsApp, and over there, I asked myself, what brought about that? That's because that's a new value system of contentment. And that's a new powerhouse where you don't chase things. Things comes to you naturally. So what? It's part of new learnings. So I have betterment, I have balance, I have contentment, and I have what they call the calm spirit. I'm never calm, but people think I'm calm, but I know I'm never calm because I'm restless. You can't be ambitious and be calm at the same time. But it's a new level where internally you're not disturbed by any external event, no matter how that it is. And I say this because my life has been like almost a wrong life. Gone through a lot of things as well, and I can speak from that point of view. So calm life. Then I have what they call empowerment as part of my new. Of course, I've been doing power. I've been empowering people one way or the other, but this is intentional, meaning that I'm so conscious about my internal drive. So if I get into my office, I give instance, if you're watching from my office, I'm just using this not to criticize you. So we have this Father's Day. And typically what I do is that I take up people, I respond to them, and I show them as a father, this is what you need to do, this is what I need to do. I have sent them gift. They didn't call, they didn't say anything, they didn't even acknowledge it. I think it's also was one person. The next day I got into the office and I say, take a gift, buy lunch for all the people in the office who were married, who were fathers. I didn't hear thank you. I'm not bothered. Why? That's empowerment. Is it why setting your value system and streaming your life from your value system? You are not going to compel people to leave from your own value. They also have their value system. I'm taking time to talk about this leading people, of course, leading yourself. And the next one is growth. I'll talk about growth. I really want to grow. I'm growing spiritually. I want to grow. So there's a target to grow mentally, otherwise. The next one will be simplicity. I'm simplifying so much of my life from dressing, from my art and all that. That's why I can get into the kitchen. I have to keep it simple. No plate is unwashed. Why? Because that's part of simplicity. Then finally, we'll talk about steadfastness. Steadfastness is the ability to what they call loyal love, loyalty, where it's not conditional. It's a lifestyle. So why am I bringing core values? Core values drive your decisions and choices. And I say you're not kind until you're kind to your kind. In fact, how you know you're kind is when your kindness meets on kindness and you remain kind. So you see how breaking it down in leadership. So you have your inner landscape that drives, like the motor, is like the creative force. So I don't wake up and people say, hey, you're weak. No, I'm not weak. I know I have that problem in the office where people think, oh, he doesn't punish. No, I say I punished. Of course, they see me start people are supposed to leave the organization because they don't meet up the standard. But where am I going with all this expanded self? Leading people is not difficult. Why? We lead people in 4 segments. This is why it's difficult. So we live in small us and bigger us. And the small us is talk about personality. And personality, it's always defending, seek for security, seek for recognition. But in your higher life, all those things are trash. You don't seek for any recognition. You don't seek for any validation. You don't seek for any approval. In fact, I read that recently in the Holy Book. He said, I've been validated in his light and I have a stamp of approval. So what I have done is, it means that I cannot seek it outside. I seek it within. So I wake up every morning validated. I'm not going to look for honor. I am honor. And what honor means, no expectation, but what expression. So leadership is not expectation. Leadership is expression. And it's that model that inclusively brings transformation and possibility. Is it going to be hard? Yeah, it's quite hard. Because in personality, you're looking for your security, you're looking for all that security. But in your higher life, trust me, you are loaded. So we live in separation. And that's why you see, in separation, the boss cannot come down from 3-story building and have the office downstairs, just to have a feel. Why? Once they do it, they will think that people will not respect them. So we live in separation. In fact, it's a separation that brings a whole lot of issues in organization, in home, in family, and all that. Separation. Because, hey, we're all contributing to the whole pool. Then we live in specialness. I mean, there had to be a special seat for people. I mean, I learned that from my former landlord. He has a parking lot. Nobody parks there. So one day I mistakenly parked there. Oh my God. He quarreled with the wife. I mean, I've never seen that level of. How can you now lead people that you are separated from? That's not leadership. Then we leave, which is the worst, is self-interest. Because every time you hurt, it's not what is hurting you that's hurting you. It is your interest because you think things should be in a certain way. You're coming from a place of your peculiarity, you're coming from a place of preferences, coming from the place of how things should be. But you can't control everything. So you see, personality, separation, specialness, and self-interest. I may not be leaders. I like people to go to my office to verify what I bring to the table. So when I come into the office, my security men want to carry my bag. I told them, please don't carry. I will take it. So some week back, no, within the week, they didn't come. I asked them, I did not beg people to carry my bag. She should allow me to carry my bag. Because there's no expectation. Where is this coming from? Root in infinity. We're too shadow-minded in our leadership. And that's why we're exhausted. That's why it's stressing. But we'll get to that point. Thank you again, Fix Me, for joining us. I want to break leadership to that place where it is satisfying, it is fun. Because anything that, if your leadership is not fun, you can't explore more. If it is not delightsome, you can't. It's when you have delight, you see wonders. If it is not joyful, you can't be creative. If it's not exciting, it's not expandable. Anything, that's why when people say they are stressed in leadership, I'm looking at them. They are forcing, they are not flowing. Can ask a question at this point. You guys are not inviting plenty people though. Okay, so Root Infinity does that. What it does, usually it operates in 3 formats. And please ask a question so that we'll close. Number 1, I realized that if you're going to be a great leader, the first 2 you're going to have is restraint. And unfortunately, the way we're parented, they force restraint to us. They don't allow us to choose discipline. They force discipline, and it makes it unattractive. Because, when parents started showing aftermath consequences, you're teaching them how a certain decision way to lead to said your restraint is a function of your well-being. When people are fat, really plumpy like this, go and check. I'm not talking about those with natural bond. It's what they are eating. If you control what you eat, you control your weight. When people go to jail, it's because they don't have restraint. If they restrain themselves. Why am I bringing it to leadership? So this is what it is. If I get into the office, people will come to the office. Maybe they are drenched. Maybe they miss the boss. Maybe their wife slapped them. Maybe their bill is controlling them. Not everybody lives in the moment, detaching yourself from the pain of the past. Or people live in future because they have not been promoted. So they are borrowing their pain and they are living it in the now. And now living that pain, borrowed pain in the now, they can't function fully. If you expect them now to act from a place of sanity, from a place of soundness, they can't. Because why? There's already distorted. They are distracted by the timelines, either the past or the future. Not too many people come to the office and live in the moment. So what it means that if I get into an office, I will first of all greet them. I'm not looking for who will validate me. I'm not looking for a stamp of approval, because that's where personality comes in. That's where separation comes in. That's where specialness comes in. That's where self-interest comes in. You see how these 4 things really is the cause of your stress. Because I'm not looking for who will honor me. I am honor. I'm not looking for who will respect me. I am respect. I'm not looking for who will validate me. I have been validated. In fact, I sit down when I wake up 10 minutes, I'm validating myself. I am looking at, I call it self-referencing. That self-referencing, I know my ideals, I know my capacity, my mental construct, I know what I can do. So I sit down and focus on it, because what kills you faster as a leader is looking for something, anticipation, rather than staying where you are. So that's restraint. I restrain myself from expecting people. Then they will ask me a question, what if, so I don't expect anything from my colleagues. Go and ask them. Because those people have their mind. You have your mind. But if your performance does not align to the responsibility, you will sack yourself. It's as simple as that. It's a low cost cause and effect. But I will model it. I will live it. I'm not going to force it. I'm done forcing things, from the security men to the middle management and all that. Why? That's loss of energy. Because what they call energy protection, energy boundaries. You know where you should be, you reserve your energy. So restraint is seeking to understand why people act the way they act, and not allowing your values to dictate how they should act. That's the conflict. And I can tell you also in marriage as well too. I mean, I was there. I love order. If I come in here, pam pam pam, it's natural to me. Now expecting somebody who is not natural, you break them because you're not forcing it. It comes natural. Does it come natural to them? It doesn't come natural. I mean, I like hugging people. It comes natural to me. Then I not expect people to hug me because that's a threat of expression. No, it's not. Some of them are so irritated just by a hug. Maybe because somebody has abused them. I'm bringing this in small way to find how restraint is the key factor killing leaders. We're not living in a place of restraint. So, what's the second one? Standard. No, I like that scripture that said when the enemy come like a flood, the Spirit of God will raise the standard. How does it work in leadership? It's true. I've created standard. Our major problem is that we don't have standard with which we function from. I have several standards that I modified on a daily basis. So I put them like a cloth. The first standard is that I will not dehumanize anybody. No matter where you are, no matter your class, because there's no separation, there's no specialness, there's no special interest. My interest is how can I bring you betterment. You see how your core values will come betterment. You're thinking about betterment because the moment you think you're better than people, you classify them, you become special, and you begin to expect them from that specialness to act from your own specialness, not from where they are. So standards are very key. Of course, we have a call. I mean, I worked in the bank before. One of the reasons I didn't want to work in the bank again because there were too many standards. So what it does that it doesn't allow your creativity, especially for us who are crazy in creativity, want to create something. I was always getting into trouble because I bring my own policy. But the truth about it is that it helps the process to align, to unify, and everybody's governed by that. So standardization about leadership, like you can wake up and write few, maybe not too plenty. One of my standard is kindness. How do you manage a situation whereby your belief do not align with others? They also have their own belief. What is belief? I've broken it down. Belief is something you have lived before, like a preposition. You don't wake up. Any life that is not designed, it will be designed by others or by environment. So I wake up every day. Thank you for asking that question. I design what we call preposition. We have preposition, position, and performance. You perform based on what you have already planned. And your position at this moment is a reflection of the preposition. So people also have preposition as well too. They have what is important to them. They have their negotiables and non-negotiables. So what it means is, before I wake up, I design my day. We call it design and alignment. So your core values are non-negotiable. How you want to serve the world, how you want to be seen, what governs your decisions, what helps you make choices. And those choices are not regrettable because they are funded by your value system. So those are primary, what we call working truths that help you shape. Thank you, Beck, for joining. It really change everything I do. Carlos, good to see you. Your jacket is in the office. Come and pick it on Monday. If you don't design a life, you can't find alignment. I mean, I wasn't like this before. I could practically decide, okay, hey, I'm not going to talk to anybody a day. I'll be in my office. And they will come to my office. As a leader, I mean, they are opening the office. I'll just keep quiet. They ask me, I have designed it. And the day you designed that life, people will talk. You will have people walk up to you to talk. What will keep you is that restraint. You know what? Self-care is understanding your design and allowing it. Thank you for being here. This is the simplest way to lead yourself. Creating your belief system. So we have what they call the working truth. Your working truth creates a thinking pattern. You know, when people say let them clear their head, it's because there are many voices on their head. Now, when you have too many voices, you don't have filters. The great thing that will filter you is your working truth. And once you have a working truth, every voice, every option that comes in, pass through your working truth. And it will help you rejuvenate your thinking patterns. And once a thought comes in that is not funded by that working truth, you know that it's a strange thought. You just kick it off. That's the filter. Guard your heart for out of issues of life. So this is how working truth create a standard. Like I have a standard, like really, I tell every morning I say, my actions are guided in goodness. So if I get into the office or I get into the house, recently I got into a house and the house was upside down, really upside down. I think they did it because they wanted to prove if what I'm saying, I live by it. So I got back and said, hey guys, congratulations. You guys have had fun and all that. I didn't bother. I respected the fact that is who they are. That's their belief. Their belief is showing in their action. But now, so if I wake up to say my actions are guided by goodness and I raise my voice over them, how does that align to goodness? But after they have moved into their rooms, I went back. It is me that like it orderly. Them, they like it disorderly. That's where they function from. Yeah, your working truth is a filter that creates the standard, yes. If you don't have a working truth, organizations have working truth. So why can't you, as on a personal level, have a working truth that guides you? It just simplified how you take decisions over people. So you have restraint, you have standard. Now, the last one, as simple as that. I like that last one. It's something we don't practice so often. Gratitude. I bring gratitude because on another level, you know, when you're insulted, you should be grateful that you're insulted. I learned that from when we were young, and my sisters will come and say, hey, this guy is bothering their life. I said, what did you do? Say, I give it to them. I said, be careful, you may not be married. They say, why? Because they say, if you're not grateful that you see guys coming to your life, then you chase them away. That's energy. And unfortunately, you think it's a self-defense. That has kept a lot of people from getting married. He said, what's that? So this is how gratitude does. It runs with what they call acceptance. You first of all accept people for who they are and not modify them from your construct or from your own idea and opinion, which is really what we do. We look at people, we modify them and see them from the lens of who we are, not from the lens of who they are. And this is the conflict. So the first thing is that when people act differently, I'll say, thank you because I'm alive to see this. As simple as that, because this is how you disengage from people's energy. Otherwise, that's their lower self will flow into your higher self and drag you back to where they are. Because really, people who hurt people. And they want you to test that hurt they are feeling. Question. So we can close. So restraint, gratitude. I told my sisters, why don't you start every time a guy comes to you? Be grateful. He said, thank you. Whether you say it verbally or say it to yourself, thank you, Father. Thank you, Divine Intelligence. Thank you, however, that I am worthy to be admired. So the more you stay on that frequency of admiration, the more you amplify more admiration. But the moment you're bitter or you're sad, you begin to devalue who you are. And this is the problem. And we need to be careful about it. Give, shall be given unto you. So it's the energy that you flow. They call it law of correspondence or resonance. So it's internal that you issued that comes back to you, because it's like law of mirroring. So if I see myself admirable, I'm going to admire other people. I'm going to show that comes back to me. So I don't need to seek to be admired. I send admiration. I need to flow back to me. So it means that if you don't have a spirit of gratitude, this is what it does. Have you noticed that if you wake up what you call wrong side of the bed, and you are sad, and you're hurrying, something will spill to create more sadness. As that thing spilled, you get to the car will not start. Why? That's what you have started with. That's how it will continue. You get to the office, you have multiple things to make you sad. You say, I'm done this today. Why? It's the simple thing of non-gratitude. But if you wake up and say, thank Divine Intelligence, thank you, Lord, because I'm even alive to be disappointed. What happens is that acceptance will lead you into an abundance, not from a place of depletion, because the moment you start thinking depletion, you will get more of it. So gratitude is a power of ascension. In fact, it's the route to which you can ascend to any level. I practiced this, when I was in my last organization. I wasn't promoted I was doing well. But I was just saying, Lord, thank you, because I know that I have a good job. I'm in a good place. My boss is good. I was really thinking, very powerful. I was on that gratitude moment, because I didn't even know that the power of gratitude is a key for ascension, to get to a new level. So when I started that gratitude moment, one day I wake up to my boss, excitedly I say, I want to leave. He said, why? I said, I don't have a headroom, that I've been this manager for too long. He said, Patrick, no, it didn't occur to me again. No. He said, okay, let's renegotiate. We renegotiated. That's when they gave me COO, Chief Operating Officer. Change the whole thing. When you meet difficult people, don't say they are difficult people. The moment you label them difficult, look at the energy back to you. You are likely going to think they are tough. The more you think about tough, the more you create a tougher situation. Are there people tough? People are tough. Yes. Yeah, when you send admiration, it flows back to you. All the difficult boss, send admiration to them. Send them. You may not send it physically. Just keep saying, I love you. You're the best boss. Just send it across to them. What happens is that, as a man thinketh, so he is, isn't it? If you think devaluation, you are devalued. And you're stressed. And as simple as them, those are theory. They are practical things. I love my office, really. I love my office. Okay. Dear Patrick, how do you redirect your energy of disappointment? So when you talk about disappointment, you've already appointed how it should be. It was your own appointment. When you anticipate a result that doesn't happen, for instance, if you plan an event for 500 people and you end up having 200, it was your own appointment that you are going to bring 500 people. So we can say, yeah, you can plan with 500 people, but you can't control whether they're going to come. I learned that from a gentleman who has planned a party and invited all the people, and everybody had excuses, genuine excuses for what they're going to do. So we're saying that outcome is a gift. When you pray from that outcome is a gift, you can do your best at the moment. I learned that from, it said, trust in the Lord and do good. As simple as that. You can't influence whether people will come or not come. But do your best. If they come, fine. But let me tell you how it runs. If you're grateful that you have done your best and you're on a high, very high intensity of gratitude, because that's what you sent. You're not controlling. But when you plan for 500, you're likely going to control system. That's the control of illusion of control. Why? Because your energy, that's why you're sad. I organize events. Sometimes you plan for 70, 50 people come. Keep thanking God. Initially, I used to be sad. Oh, I've done this, I've done that. But I started being grateful, and I can see that I have more, because gratitude is rooted in more. Sadness is rooted in scarcity. And the more you're sad after your event, the more you devalue your event. Even if one person, be grateful. I'm also practicing where disappointment is a sign of gratitude, because I've seen disappointment as a divine interruption. I don't see it like, okay, hey, it's a painful process. So recently, I went to the clinic, and they were supposed to give me injection. I was so grateful that I gave him the injection. And the nurse was confused. He said, people are sad. I said, that's why it's painful. But when you are gratitude that this injection is a process of healing you, it changes the energy. As simple as that, just try them. So, restraint, standard, and gratitude. That's how we root our self-infinity. That's what brings us boundless. Expectation is a trap. The only expectation is yourself, not other people. So leadership is beautiful. Lead yourself to better men, then you lead others. But if you have not led yourself into a higher ground, it's difficult for you. You're going to struggle. Thank you so much. If you have any question, we're supposed to do physical meeting, but thank God for technology. We'll move here and there. Yeah, outcome is a gift. Thank you for joining this class. Drop a comment, ask questions. I'm really open to help people live a beautiful, satisfying life, where you find satisfaction, first of all, in yourself, because you need to lead yourself to betterment, and it's very easy not to force leadership, but to flow leadership. Thank you so much. It was good having everybody around. See you next class.